What's going on, everybody? You know what it is, and by now you should know who it is. It's your girl, Ryan Chicken People listening. So, I decided to have a sit down and go live for a moment with you all. I know you haven't seen me in quite some time, and I apologize for that. I've been living married life, I've been going through married things. Things have been changing. So if you see the title around here somewhere, this is Married to Ghana. I think this is going to be the first Married to Ghana live that I've done since being here in Ghana. If you haven't been watching the series, then you should go back into YouTube, into the vlogs, and watch the past videos that I have uploaded from February, I believe, until now. Well, until last month sometimes. It's been a few weeks since I've posted something, but you should go back and watch it. Yeah, you should go back and watch it. So I decided to come on for a little while and just give an update of what's been going on here, what's been happening, what's been tea, and all of that good juicy stuff. Gosh, I can't believe that today makes 80 days of being here in Ghana. If someone would have really told me probably 5-6 years ago, probably even last year, that this is really going to happen, I don't think I would have believed them, because so many things have been changing and so many things had happened leading up to this moment that I don't think that I would have had even though I knew. Since a little girl, Lord, excuse me. Since a little girl, I knew that coming to Africa was something that I was going to do. It has always been a dream, a vision, something that I have been manifesting, but I had no idea that it was going to be like it is. But I've known that this is something that I was destined to do. As I got older, I kind of put it in the back of my mind. I kind of put it in the back of, that filing cabinet that we have in our brain sometimes about things that life starts happening and you think that these things are not going to ever happen. But after the letdown of not being able to come to Africa 2 years ago when I was supposed to go to Uganda and things like that, I think I kind of gave up a little bit on making the trip here. But God is intentional. When God tells you that something is going to happen, when God tells you that this is something that you're going to do according to the plan that He has for your life, and you are a believer, then you have to know that His word cannot return back to Him void. That when He gives you a prophecy or something like that, or when He speaks something over your life and it doesn't leave you alone, then you know that eventually this thing is going to happen. And that's how coming to Africa was for me. God just kept putting it somewhere in my mental, somewhere around me. Something would either come up on TV or someone would speak something about it, or it got to the point where it just started to be like an everyday urging of something that I needed to start looking into, really trying to do, right? But I still could not have planned how it has come to be myself. So 80 days of being in Ghana has taught me so many things. Earlier today, I was having a discussion with one of my spiritual sisters, Kim McGee. And I was explaining to her how God has truly just stretched my faith and tested my faith. And I like to say tested my spiritual gangster in a way that I never thought was possible. Meeting my husband, meeting people that I have met here, experiencing the move of God the way I did with even just planning to come here. Actually making the step of faith, the leap of faith, the jump of faith to come here. All of those things in a mixing pot of what is now 80 days into it has stretched and tested my faith in such a way that I never thought was possible. I never thought that I even needed or wanted. Um, I've learned so much about who Rain is now in this season. I've learned so much about just who God is in my life in this season. I've learned so much about life in general in this season. I have had so many different emotions. Like some of my fellow sisters and brothers of the diaspora, when you actually put your feet here, when you actually step off that plane and you actually go from the honeymoon phase of the thing to actually living, breathing, and like having to be in the mix of it all, then you get to know exactly what it is, if that makes sense. So I would say my first 8 days were like, I'm a kid in the candy store. Like, oh my God. I kept saying it. I'm in Ghana. Like, I literally just kept saying, oh my God. Like, I did that. I was on a plane. I left my family. I left my circle of influence. I left everybody that knows anything about me. In a spiritual sense, in a natural sense, a physical sense, I left everything behind and I followed what I believed that God was calling me to follow. And I took this amazing leap and flew to another continent. Okay, I flew over many an ocean, stream, and river. The trip here was unbelievable. The way I got to experience God's majesty, God's sovereignty, the way I got to experience the angelic host for my life in a different way in real time was so breathtakingly amazing to me. I could not have made that thing up if I tried to. Being able to sorry, I'm looking at something here. Being able to every step of the way experience God's hand of provision for me, see God's hand of protection for me, hear and feel God's instructions for me, guidance. It was just mind-blowing amazing. Of course, you know, as me being my own miracle sign and wonder of modern day Christendom, being a resurrected person, the way I experience God since the resurrection is so amazingly different. But this particular move, yeah, it was really amazing. It was really life-changing yet again. So I'd say my first 7 or 8 days here was more of the still trying to pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming, still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that, hey, it's just you, God, and your person. You know, literally, it was just God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost, Bright, and myself and my in-laws. But really, in that little bubble that I was in for those first couple of days, it was just God, Jesus, the Holy Ghost, and Bright, and myself. So here I am having to place all of my faith in God and place all of Bright's faith in God. All of my protection and safety and all those things had to go in that direction. There was no other way that I could have made it as far as I did without having that particular formula. Would I have now advised someone to do it like I did? No. I hardly ever advise anybody to do anything the way I have done it. The only part of how I did what I advise somebody else to do If you're a believer, if you believe in God and God is the head of your life, and God gives you an instruction, God gives you a clarion call to do something, then by all means, please obey whatever God has called you to do. People around your circle is not going to understand what God has called you to do. And it's not for them to understand. Okay. However, but if you know that you know that you know that God has called you to something, that God has given you instruction for something, that God has told you to do something, He's told you to do it in a certain time, at a certain place, for a certain reason, in a certain season, then you need to do what God has told you to do. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and you're standing before God, God is going to be talking to you and nobody else but you. You're going to be accountable for your own soul salvation. You're going to be accountable for your own thing, your own stuff. So you got to make sure that you're going to do what you believe that God has told you to do. That's it. That's the only thing that I would tell you to do that I did. With all my might, with all that I am, I follow what I believe, that I know inside of me, with all of my understanding, wisdom, and knowledge, did what God told me to do. Even when it was hard, even when it was scary, even when it wasn't popular to anybody else's belief, I did what God told me to do. Okay? When you do that and when things get rough, because they oftentimes will get rough when you are obedient to something that God tells you to do, that's just how it is. You can stand on knowing that if God has called you to do something, if God has called you and chosen you and set you apart from something, He has to bring you to the end of that thing. He has to supply all of your needs according to His riches and glory. His word cannot return back to Him void. He has to see about you in the midst of it all. He's not going to bring you to something that He's not going to bring you through. That's just point blank and the period. So because I knew that I was doing what I believe that God had told me to do, then what? Lick my lips? Sorry, y'all. I was trying to read my husband's mouth and I didn't. Hold on. One moment. I'll be right back. I'm coming, y'all. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say. So, yeah, like I wouldn't advise anyone to do what I did the way I did it. Excuse me. So, I would say what I learned in the first, I would say 21 days, right, of being here. I learned that I should have financially planned a little bit more. I should have given myself a little bit more of a safety net excuse me, I am and have always been one of those type of people to where I'm a bit rebellious. I'm a bit rogue when it comes to things that I want to do. Especially when I know that I have the backing and the covering of God, I will just jump out there. I hate to say, but butterball naked. Okay, I will just go with it. And God does like things decent and in order, but sometimes in the natural it doesn't look like it's decent and in order because it seems like downright retarded. But the way that God works, I mean, I'm crazy with it. Like I have crazy, ridiculous, relentless faith, and so when I know that God has told me something, I'll just go for it. And if I need to, I'll go back and repent for something later. But I would have made sure that I financially planned better. And what I mean by that is I should have made sure that I had a safety net for whatever was to come. And I have researched that and heard other people say that, but each person that I have researched or that I follow that have made this particular trip or have made this particular move, they have been planning for years. They had already been kind of getting their stuff together for years. They had already been traveling out of the country for years, out of the West to come to these different countries for years already. This was my first trip out of the country. This was my first getting my passport, getting my visa, and all of those things. These are all first things that I did, all in the process of coming to make this particular trip. I would, like I said, I would not have told someone to do it the way I did it. Make sure that you have a certain type of safety plan. Make sure you have a certain type of financial plan, and you have enough resources to where if no one else can do anything for you, that you have these things mapped out. I'm gonna make an actual video and not so much about a live about these things, because I've had people who God has allowed to come to me. Just today I had a young lady that thanked me for a video that I put out that's thinking about doing some of the things that I've always already done. And I've had a lot of other people, some of my family members, some of my circle that have been asking me certain questions about how to do exactly what I did. So I will be making a video about these type of things. But this is just a check-in of letting you all know that I'm fine. Nothing has happened to me here. I'm very safe. I'm very secure. Things are still copacetic. So that's one reason why I'm doing it. So like I said, within the first 14 days or so, I realized that I even though I'm okay with how it went, I should have given myself a little bit more of a cushion when it came down to the financial part of it. Also, if I've learned that the magnitude of the difference between how landlords and how the rent goes here versus in the West. In the West, we pay our rent monthly, and sometimes you can pay it in different intervals or something like that. But here, the rent is yearly, and the full year needs to be paid at the time of you getting the key or going to look at it and things of that nature. In the West, you just go to the apartment office, leasing office, or you just go to the housing authority office of whatever house that you might be trying to move into, or you contact the landlord, you go and look at it, you fill out your application, they run whatever they got to run, and then you prepare to move in. You tell them what day you're going to move in. You give yourself a certain amount of time to pay whatever needs to be paid, and then you pay it and then you move in. It just is like it is the way it is. And sometimes you can work it out different ways. But here you pay what you call your deposit, and you pay your full amount of rent right then. There's no in between. So that's something that even right now, as we just completed our first full round of house hunting, I'm still learning that particular portion of it. So I would say 30 days into being here in Ghana, what I learned or how I felt was, I think that was at the moment when I kind of started having these um spiritual battles of, did I really hear what God said? Like, did I really make the right decision? Did I really follow what I believe what God was telling me to follow? Um like yeah, I was kind of giving myself those moments of, am I sure that I heard from God the right way? Um just brief moments of not being sure that I made the right step. But that's just how the enemy works. When you know that you're doing something right, when the enemy is bothering you, because if you're not doing something right, he ain't got no reason to bother you, right? So that's how it kind of was. It was like I realized that I was still on the right path because the enemy was still on my track. The enemy was still, trying to put pressure on me and things of that nature. But oh man, honestly, I can say from the time I got off the plane here in Ghana to the moment that I stepped outside of the Patoka airport doors into the arms of Bright, to the moment that we walked across the sky to where the car was, like driving out of the airport until the moment that we got to where we stayed at, to the moment that we got married, to the moment that, like each moment just let me know that, hey, you can do life here. I really had that woosah moment of, hey, I'm home. The peace that I received instantly was so amazing. The weight of 1,000 years of oppression that my family has carried was just lifted off of me, I believe. And it's like amazing time. I'm trying to see. What I learned at the 30 day mark was that I knew that I wanted to make it for sure permanent. I have been saying it, like Brian and I would have conversations and I would say it. My family that I have been talking to, they were telling me before I even came, like even my mom was like, I don't think you're gonna come back. You say you're gonna come back home, but I don't think you're gonna come back. But I had that feeling of, yeah, this it. I don't need to go to Senegal. I don't need to go to Nigeria. I don't need to go to Zimbabwe. I don't need to go to Uganda. I don't want to go to Kenya. Like, for me, all of my inside out was like, yeah, this is it. Like, I can look around when Bright would be taking me around, I can see, okay, I can see my children doing this, or I can see me and Bright having this type of business here, or I can see this and that. And things, y'all, sorry, my husband's trying to get things in the background taken care of, and he flicked the light. But anyway, yeah, I could see myself at different spots throughout the journey. Ghana is second home. In my mind, Ghana is home, first home, and the States is second home. So the first stage of letting go of any inhibitions or any thoughts or any what's the word? Anything that I had residue or anything that I still had that I didn't leave over the ocean when I got in the plane. Because my thing while I was in the plane on a 3-day journey to get here was to leave anything that was going to try to hinder me embracing the fullness of what was about to take place. I tried to let those things go in prayer, let those things go as I was traveling here, so that when I got here, I wouldn't have any type of preconceived notions. So I would say the first 30 days, I tried to let go of any type of preconceived notions, any type of negative connotation I thought I had, or any type of Americanisms, brainwashingisms that I thought I might have had. I tried to let those things go, and I tried to fully embrace the moment. I tried to make sure that I was in the moment. I spent a lot of time learning how to be married for the first time again in a brand new way. I enjoy letting my husband take me around different places, trying to his best to teach me different things. I enjoyed a lot of time with my in-laws and things like that. So I didn't try to get too far wrapped up into business. I kind of tried to see what I might like as far as where I wanted us to live, what I needed to have in our living arrangement and our living life and things like that. I really tried to enjoy myself to the best of my ability. So going into this, getting towards the 60-day mark, so many things have transpired that you'll have to stay tuned to learn about those things, because I'll do actual full videos on those things. But trying the food, learning what foods my body likes and what foods my body didn't like, learning which water my body liked and which water my body didn't like, learning the fact that I myself enjoy the weather. Some days are hot and have extra octane on them, and then they be hot. But for the most part, because I'm a Southern Texas, Louisiana, Creole Nation girl, the heat is not bad for me. I know that some other people who come from a more colder climate or come from a more wet and rainy climate, when they come here, it's like, oh my God, the heat. But for me, for the most part, the heat is normal heat for me. The only difference between Texas and Louisiana heat to Ghanaian heat is that we have a little bit of humidity to our heat, whereas here it's just dry heat. It's kind of like when we have the wet and damp coldness in Texas and Louisiana, but up north they have the straight, just cold, period, like bone chilling cold. It's like it's cold. So it's kind of like that. I think that's what I happened with me the first, but by the 40, 50, and 60-day mark, I think I try to relax into, the Ghanaian way of life. I kind of relaxed into the roads being not so great. Understanding the things that Bright had been teaching me about just the way the world is here. It's a whole different world here. But I started to feel energized about, hey, I want to do business here. I want to do this kind of business here. I want to be this kind of person here. I want to, experience this type of thing. Oh, this is how I can blend my way of content creating here. This is how I can be creative here. This is how I can be helpful here. These are the type of communities that I want to be a part of here. So that's what happened about 40, 50, and 60 days mark. We started really getting ready to start house hunting, apartment hunting, trying to find our first marital place to start off with within that time frame. A lot of things changed. A lot of things really got cranked up and started. So I think I don't want to say too much because I won't make videos on those things. But now I think now as I'm coming towards the end of my first full trip here and getting ready to go back to the States, now that I'm 80 days into it, I'm so grateful for the fact that I didn't allow fear to stop me. I'm grateful for the fact that I listen to God's unctioning and I follow what God was calling me to. Because I understand the fullness of things that happened in the past, pre-resurrection and shortly after resurrection. I understand now everything that 46 years of traveling around the sun, ups and downs, ins and outs, have prepared me for living here. All the things that I had to survive through in my life have propelled me and prepared me in what's the word? Process me to be able to live, breathe, and thrive here. The way my faith is brand new because of getting here. Um, Life is about to be. I can understand why God allowed me to come here to walk into the beginning of my winning seasons. I can understand why God allowed me to be here to start to receive the harvest of all the seeds that I was able to sow, good or bad, here. So 80 days into being in Ghana, I am the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. It's God has filled me to like overflow so much that even when I feel like I look raggedy, people who know me are saying how happy I look, how different I sound, how fulfilled I sound, how happy that they are to see and experience this moment with me. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for every single last one of you, Rainbow Coalition. The fact that we're growing faster and stronger and more than we've grown in the 10 years I've been getting in front of a camera. When God first told me to start doing this and I ran from it and I tried not to do it as much, I had no idea that this is what he was bringing me to, and it's still so much more that he is calling me to. But I'm grateful for the last 7 years of really trying to do what he told me to do. I'm grateful for the fact that now people are letting me know that I'm on the right track. I'm grateful for the 680 something plus people on the new TikTok. I'm grateful for the original Rainbow Coalition that's on the Female Lazarus page. I'm grateful for the 3,000 Instagram followers. I'm grateful for the thousands of people on Facebook. I'm grateful for the 200 plus people on YouTube. I'm grateful for the people that follow me on Threads that I don't even really know how to work Threads, but I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for any one of you all who take the time out to even watch 8.9 seconds or more of something that I put out. It makes me know that I don't have to be worrying about the type of job that I have, but it's something about it lets me know that I'm what God has called me to. If I keep being obedient to what God has for me, then I will make no mistakes. I will not miss the mark, right? It makes me want to keep being consistent for each and every single last one of you all. And 80 days in Ghana has taught me that if I just keep showing up for myself, if I just keep saying yes to God, if I just keep staying on that straight and narrow path and keep my blinders on and stay focused on what God has in store for me, then at the end of it all, when it's all said and done, the last trumpet sound, I'll get to hear him say, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." And that's all that I want. This time when I go to heaven, I want to go empty, meaning I have done everything that God has called me and created me to do. So would I advise somebody to do it like me? No. Would I advise my children to do it like me? No. Do I have some regrets? No. Because it's me. It's my story. It's my testimony. It's my way of doing it so that you don't have to make those mistakes. So that you can say, hey, Rain says you don't have to do it like this. It's my way of bumping my knees and scraping my knees so that you don't have to fall in the places where I fell at. You'll have a smooth transition, if that makes sense. So I didn't mean to be on here long. I just wanted to try to give you some cocoa. I know I love some things unsaid and unanswered. That's because you have to stay tuned. So if you are seeing this space for the very first time, please, ma'am, please, sir, please, my sister, my brother, my cousin, hit the subscribe button. Click that notification bell so that you can stay in the know for whenever I post. Because we here at the Social Truth Agency, aka Internationally Rain, aka She Rain, aka Rain the Truth LLC and RD Media and L Rain Enterprises, have so much more coming your way. The Married to Ghana series has so much more in store. So please subscribe. Very soon, there will be a section only for subbies, only for paid subscribers. It's gonna be expensive, but it will be a paid subscription for VIP people. There will only be certain footage that will be shared with them very, very soon. It's going to be coming up. So get in while you can right now, because most of the original OGs and triple OGs of this channel will get, some free subscription to that part, right? They'll only have to pay certain things. So you need to get in while you can fit in. We have new merch coming. New things are coming up, but like I said, you got to stay tuned in order to find out what that is. So in the meantime, in between time, I hope you all have a really good night or a really good afternoon or a really good morning, wherever you might be watching your girl from. But you know what it is, and by now you should know who it is. It's your girl, Rain. Check your people. Listen, take God with you everywhere you go. If you can't take him, maybe you have some waffle come. Maybe you have several seats, or maybe you know. Even change. Even change. Say I love you like that. Keep love. Take you around us all. Take